The 2026 Formula One grid is effectively locked, but that stability ends the moment the 2027 market opens. Right now, teams are prioritizing safe driver choices and internal consistency. They need a stable environment to navigate the massive car and engine regulation changes arriving in 2026. However, this calm is an illusion created by a specific legal mechanism, the performance clause. These clauses act as a pressure valve in elite contracts. While teams usually hold the power to keep a driver, a performance clause allows a top-tier driver to instantly opt out if the car fails to meet specific competitive standards. Max Verstappen is the primary wildcard holding this power. Although his Red Bull contract technically runs through 2028, the team's recent dip in form has given him the leverage to walk away early. The 2027 grid relies on a precise chain reaction, triggered the moment a single world champion decides to push the first domino. Verstappen's management has already held exploratory talks with McLaren, the team currently leading the performance pecking order. A move to McLaren is complicated by Lando Norris, who has effectively committed the rest of his career to the team. This makes Oscar Piastri the odd man out. If Verstappen arrives, Piastri, despite his race-winning talent, would be forced to find a new home. This creates the potential for a direct swap, where Piastri moves to Milton Keynes to lead Red Bull's transition into the post-Verstappen era. For Red Bull, Piastri offers a proven winner to anchor the team, providing a safety net while they develop their younger, unproven junior prospects. One driver's decision to exercise an exit clause would instantly force a trade of lead drivers between the two fastest teams on the grid. There is a reason Verstappen's gaze is fixed so firmly on McLaren. His other elite options have already closed their doors. Mercedes has committed to George Russell and their teenage prodigy Kimi Antonelli, choosing to build their future around internal talent rather than chasing a veteran champion. Ferrari has followed a similar path, investing heavily in the high-profile pairing of Lewis Hamilton and Charles Leclerc for the next several years. These locked lineups create a bottleneck for the next generation. Prospects like Ollie Behrman are now forced to wait at lower-tier teams because there is simply no room at the top. With the doors at Mercedes and Ferrari bolted shut, the market's entire volatility is concentrated on the relationship between Verstappen and McLaren. A second domino sits further down the grid, Fernando Alonso. Alonso is currently waiting to see the performance data from the 2026 Aston Martin, a car being shaped by legendary designer Adrian Newey. If that car delivers and Alonso stays, the entry points into the midfield remain blocked for another year. If Alonso chooses to retire, his seat becomes the primary target for Carlos Sainz, who is currently using Williams as a temporary home while he waits for a more competitive opening. Alonso's choice to wait on engineering data effectively holds the career mobility of half the paddock in limbo. At the bottom of this cascade, rookie drivers find themselves with no leverage, waiting for the veterans above them to move. The Red Bull Junior pipeline, including Liam Lawson, Arvid Lindblad, Ishak Hadjar, and Nikola Tsolov, is the clearest example of this paralysis. These four drivers are currently deadlocked. Their promotion depends entirely on whether Verstappen vacates the seat at the top. This bottleneck is worsening as new teams like Cadillac choose to ignore rookies entirely, leaning on experienced veterans like Sergio Perez to ensure a safe entry into the sport. This reliance on veteran experience further isolates drivers like Esteban Ocon, who may find themselves out of the sport as teams prioritize either elite champions or stable veterans. In modern Formula One, the leverage contained in a single contract dictates the fate of the entire paddock. Performance clauses will likely do more to shape the 2027 field than raw track speed alone.